Hello everybody and welcome back to Nancy Drew Mobile Mystery Shadow Ranch. Nancy just saved the Mannings, who were kidnapped, and Nancy is going with them towards the area where the kidnappers were in hopes that they will actually be able to catch the kidnappers before the kidnappers escape. In the sheriff's car, Nancy studies the map as he speeds down the desert highway. A few cars and trucks whiz by in the other direction. "Sounds to me like they were holed up in Bobcat Hollow," the sheriff says. He jabs at the map with a finger. "Should be right around here." "I see it," she responds, peering closely at the tiny print. "Yes, I think that's probably it." But the high-pitched whine of a truck passing by. But the high-pitched whine of a truck passing by in the other direction has muffled her words. "What did you say?" the sheriff asks. "I said," but suddenly she raises her head and catches herself, eyes wide with sudden realization. "Turn around!" she commands, glancing out the back window. The sheriff looks at her, mystified. "What?" "Turn the car around and we can catch the kidnappers! Hurry!" Why should the sheriff turn the car around? Can you guys figure out Nancy's reasoning here? Think about it. I'll give you some time to think about it. It's not that difficult of a mystery. Nancy has heard this sound effect somewhere before. She heard that sound effect the first time she met the kidnappers, when they were posing as innocent people participating in the scavenger hunt. So now that she's hearing that sound effect again, she's thinking, those could be the kidnappers. The truck that dropped the kidnappers off at the starting line made just the same noise as the truck that just passed us, Nancy cries. The sheriff radios his deputies in the other car, then brakes to a stop, does a U-turn, and lights flashing, tears back down the highway. The sheriff's car closes in behind the truck and keeps pace. "You sure about this, Nancy? This truck's not hauling a horse trailer." She hears the familiar high-pitched whine and says maybe they abandoned it to make their getaway easier. The pickup truck pulls to the side of the road and rolls to a stop. The sheriff pulls up behind it, and a moment later the deputy's car arrives in front. The driver of the truck leans out his window and asks innocently, "There a problem, Sheriff?" The sheriff and his deputies slowly surround the truck. "Why don't you three step outside and we'll see." The back doors open and the kidnappers step out, trying their best to look angelic. As they join the driver, the sheriff calls over his shoulder, "Nancy, we got a problem here or not?" Nancy gets out of the car. When they see her, the kidnappers turn pale. "We don't have a problem," she grins, "but they certainly do." Ah, Nancy. She catches criminals and she makes witty comments. The three are arrested, and within hours the community of Tumbleweed is abuzz with word of the foiled kidnapping. And that evening at the post-scavenger hunt banquet, Nancy, Bess, and George each receive a special award, 3 bouquets of dahlias. We have the Dahlias collectible. We have all the collectibles from this chapter. All right. I guess this means we're pretty much at the end of the chapter. 3 bouquets of dahlias, as well as nachos and sopapillas at Pasquale's for a year. Well, it's sort of unfortunate that Nancy, Bess, and George are probably only going to be there for a week because they won free food for a year, but, that's pretty good. Maybe they can transfer the reward onto Uncle Ed and Aunt Bet. To top it off, the local newspaper interviews them for a full hour, much to Uncle Ed's delight. In the excitement, the winners of the scavenger hunt, the girls from Black Creek Ranch, are all but forgotten, much to Bess's great delight. Once the festivities wind down, the 3 friends drive back toward Shadow Ranch through the darkened desert. Several miles down a long, lonely stretch of road, a sudden loud popping noise startles the girls. George and Nancy exchange a worried look. "Uh-oh," Bess groans. "That sounds serious." George pulls over to the side of the road. The girls inspect the truck to find a completely flat back tire. Bess holds up her cell phone, searching in vain for a signal. Well, George sighs, it's nothing we haven't dealt with before. Let's just hope Uncle Ed's got a spare here. Guys? Bess gulps, pointing at the side of the road. We've got a bigger problem. In the darkness. Hold on a second. In the darkness, a pair of yellow eyes glow menacingly. Suddenly, a large cougar jumps into the road and lets out a blood-curdling yell. Just like that. The animal fixes its angry glare on Bess and claws fiercely at the space between them. Nancy, Bess whimpers, what do I do? Before she can respond, the cougar leaps. George and Nancy watch helplessly from a distance as the cougar becomes a high-speed blur of claws and razor-sharp teeth, plunging straight towards Bess. You've saved the Mannings, but what's in store for Bess? Will she be mauled by a cougar? Will the girls make it back to Shadow Ranch? The answers to these questions and more are found in the next chapter, Wild Cat. So it looks like we can continue on to chapter 3. We can return to the table of contents. Or we can go for a horse ride. Why would we go for a horse ride? Let's go for a horse ride. Let's celebrate with the horse race, Nancy tells her friends. Wow, they're celebrating. Okay, fine. This time I'm gonna ride as Ginger. And, Bess and George are perfectly okay. Forget about the, cougar, which was going to attack Bess. A horse wears a saddle. Oh, a saddle and a horse and a horse and a horse. Got a canteen over here. A bottle. A person! A sheriff, right? The sheriff. Gold digger is a miner. A cabin. Cowboy rope is a lasso. Oh, I'm so gonna win. Not because I'm a good rider, but because Bess got attacked by a cougar in the middle of the race. That's why Bess is in the back. Look how far behind she is. Wow. Come on, Bess. Catch up. This has to be a cactus, right? Alright, I win! Yay! I won the celebratory horseback riding challenge. Good riding, George calls out. Bess pouts. Why do I always get stuck with a slow horse? That's my question. And now you can either return to the Wildcat or continue to the table of contents. Well, that was kind of fun. I kind of like going horseback riding. I'm sort of confused as to how we're in the dark and Bess is about to be attacked by a cougar, but then all of a sudden it's daytime out and we're going horseback riding for fun. And then it's back to Bess is going to be attacked by a cougar again. It's sort of a fun little diversion. Doesn't really sort of fit in, but in any case, later on we will take on the Wildcat. That looks like the Wildcat right there. Looks kind of dangerous. I hope Bess will make it out alive.